25, 30 miles away, going into enemy villages and spying when the Nazis were coming, where collaborators were. So that was his role.
By late 1942, the Bielski group faced a new enemy, the harsh Belarusian winter.
I wore whatever I got out from the ghetto. It was everything torn on me. Shoes, they were torn. Socks torn. I didn't have so much clothes. No, I didn't.
You imagine people slept in their clothes. If you had a gun, you slept with the gun. With the gun, you went to the washroom. You know what the washroom was? Between a couple trees. We became animals, that's all.
It was very hard, and it was winter. It was so cold, but we were young. And we knew better here than in ghetto or in the concentration camps.
We used to sit and talk. What else could you do? Sitting and talking, dreaming. Maybe we'll get out. There was not too much hope. But we were always, like dreaming and hoping. Maybe something will come up, that maybe we will survive. But God knows, we didn't believe.
Early on, food was scarce, comprised of whatever the group could beg, steal, or borrow from local villagers.
You had to survive. There was a big family to feed. So if you went on a mission for supplies, you didn't come in with money and said how much you want. You had to take it under the gun. Survival is a very, very, very powerful means. You don't even think of being nice. You can't be nice.
I remember also one time, there was a rumor, a dead horse is laying in the fields. And when the people found out, they attacked that horse. By the time we heard about it, believe me, there was nothing left except the guts. And if you think that it was beneath my mom to clean those guts as best she could and cook it. And I still remember the flavor. That nobody would want to eat. And it wasn't beneath us. We ate it and it was good and we left it off and just sorry that we didn't come a little earlier to grab a bite of meat.
The ability to conjure even the slightest pretense of normal life was to become an essential survival skill.
Circumstances had to be created to lift the spirit of the people because everybody lost somebody. We would get together, sing songs in front of a fire. We used to sing Jewish songs. Um den Feuer singen wir Lieder, die Nacht ist teuer und wir wären nicht müde. Und wenn der Feuer wird verloschen werden, leicht auf der Himmel die Levone und Stern. That means, shall I translate? We are singing in front of a fire, and we are singing songs. And we don't get tired because we could go on and on, because as the fire gets bigger, the spirit gets higher, and we are very happy to be together.
Romances in the woods, for many, like Pesach and Leah Friedberg, led to makeshift matrimony.
One night we were sitting there and talking, and he says, you know what? Look at the sky. The moon is going to be our rabbi, and you see the stars? They're going to be our guests. I said, what are you talking about? I thought he's a little nut. He says, yes. See, the moon is our rabbi. From now on, let's be husband and wife.
Happy moments in the woods were both a lifeblood and brief by design. Vigilance was required at all times. The threat of Germans discovering the Bielskis' forest camp remained very real.
We used to go from one place to another like gypsies. We couldn't stay in one place because Somehow we were afraid they would track us down or people will tell on us.
If you stay too long in one place, it will get to the Germans sooner or later, and they will come and be bad news.
And there were villagers that used to point out that the partisans are coming and pointed out to the Germans. With those you had to deal with. You had to deal with it.
For a Gentile at those days to turn in a Jew or to hurt a Jew, it was a good deed. They were getting paid for it. They were getting paid for it.
One such Gentile was a former Bielski neighbor by the name of Vatya Kushel.
My brother sent about 10 or 15 men, took him out of bed and brought him to the woods. A fellow with the name Gulko, Benny Gulko. He put him on the ground and he cut his head off with an axe. They threw him in the burning bridge and they put on a piece of paper, "Here is killed and burned Vatya Kushel because he was a collaborator with the Nazis."
For a while, you're not a human being when it comes to your own survival. And knowing what they've done and the kind of treatment we were getting, I mean, that was nothing of a payback. Nothing what was done was enough.
In the winter of 1943, 10 members of the Bielski brothers' detachment were killed during a food gathering mission when a farmer and his family informed the Nazis of their location. Tuvia ordered retribution. He recruited men for what he called a sacred mission of blood for blood.
We wanted revenge to show them our strength, and we took care of this family.
אנחנו הקפנו, הגענו עד להם, עשינו מצור וחיסלנו את כולם. שרפנו את כל, נשארה ממש כן אדמה חרוכה.
And that's the way they threw fear on the population. There wasn't a human being in the state of White Russia in those days did not know the Bielskis.
They wiped out collaborators. They didn't fool around. They sent men and taught that lesson that these things will happen to those that harm Jews or turn them in, that there was a penalty for Jewish blood.